Hi guys, and welcome back to Mindset Learn Extra. As you can see, I've been upgraded and I'm now designated map holder for Peter. Peter, come and chat to us and tell us what's happening on this here map.
All right, folks. Huge map, hey?
Huge.
Absolutely huge. And it's everything to do, in fact, it is a map of South Africa. But you know, and I know, that that map is not really the same size as South Africa, okay? Because it's not the same size as South Africa, we know there has to be some sort of scale involved with this whole thing. So if we look at the map, we are going to try and find out the scale of this map. In other words, we are going to try and find what does 1 centimeter on the map actually represent in real life. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm looking at this map, and there, right in the corner, I see a scale. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk that side, and we're going to look at our scale. Here's our scale right at the bottom here. And can we see that? We've got a good shot of that. Now, there's 2 parts to the scale. The first part is our word scale, all right, or our number scale, which says scale is 1 is to 1,500,000. In other words, the person who made this map has already made life so much easier for us, because they've told us, listen, 1 centimeter on the map represents 1,500,000 centimeters in real life. What they're also telling us is this, that 1 meter on the map would represent 1,500,000 meters in real life. Do we understand that? So this map has really been made easy for us because they've given us the scale. So let's write up the scale. We said 1 represents 1,500,000. Okay? 1 what? We discussed it before break. Either 1 centimeter represents 1,500,000, or 1 meter represents 1,500,000, or even 1 millimeter represents 1,500,000 in real life. Okay, now, in the past weekend, what I will say is this, that, you know, we live in a wonderful country, and our country has got all kinds of nature reserves and game reserves, and you can see all types of wild animals in these reserves. Or you can go to Durban, because my mother-in-law is there, you can see her. So this last weekend I had the opportunity of travelling down to Durban, and there we visited my mother-in-law. So we travelled from Johannesburg, because that's where we currently are, and we travelled all the way down to Durban. Now, what I want to stress is this. I'm going to pretend that I didn't travel by car, that I actually flew directly from Joburg all the way down to Durban, okay, in a straight line. Okay? We're not going to worry about the twists and the turns, because that brings a whole different dimension. Our whole idea today is really, do we understand how scales work? So we're going to pretend the road from Joburg to Durban is a straight one, okay? And then we'll take it from there. So we're going to go to our map, and I'm going to ask Indiana to lift it a little bit. Now, it's quite funny, because if she lifts us a bit up over her head there, it's a much better picture, okay? It's actually quite dark down there at the back there,
It's quite nice.
Is it?
Hey,
Okay.
he just doesn't, he wants to take all the limelight here, I think.
Okay, so you know, it gets quite dark,
Is that
dark
good?
at the back there.
Is
It
that
reminds
good?
me about 2 guys, hey? 2 guys were actually in a room, and the lights went out. Where am I talking? Oh, here I am.
There
2
you are,
guys
there
were
you
in
are.
a room, okay? And the lights went out, and the one guy says to the other guy, geez, it's quite dark in here. And the other guy says, I don't know, I can't see a thing. Okay, so let's have a look. Up here is Johannesburg, right over there, at that very point there. Durban is down yonder, okay? Right over there. So guys, we know that 1 unit that I measure is going to be equivalent to 1,500,000. So here's a good question. How far is Durban from Joburg? Let's see if we can answer that by looking at this map and using the scale. Okay. Incidentally, I hope there are matrics out there watching this, because this is a great kind of matric question. Remember matrics, okay, and grade 11s, we can test the same sort of thing because the syllabus is so similar. In fact, we start the grade 12 syllabus in grade 11. So if you're in grade 12 watching this, this is a fantastic type of question. You could get in an exam at the end of the year. Right, so I'm going to measure the distance. So we're going to measure straight from Joburg all the way down to Durban. Now, it's kind of difficult to do it on this map because it's a little bit floppy. So what I'm going to do is we're going to lay it down flat on the table. And then that way as well we can see your face behind there. So let's do that. So,
see, I suppose I'll just move my computer for you. Just hold on. Hey?
All right. And we're going to turn the map a little bit to make life a little bit easier for everyone
okay. Involved.
So folk, Johannesburg over here, Durban over there. How far is that? So let's take our ruler and we're going to take this and we're going to measure from Durban all the way through to Johannesburg over there. We're going to pretend we traveled from the center of Johannesburg. Okay, now where has Durban disappeared to? Ah, there she is there. Okay, so Durban on our map, we're measuring all the way through to Johannesburg over there is round about 33 centimeters. Would you agree on that?
That's close. I would agree. Or even...
Well, this is not a real life size map,
33 and a half if we're taking to the middle of Roodepoort.
Okay, but we're going Joburg.
Okay.
Centre of Joburg,
okay,
right?
Okay, centre.
So 33 centimeters. Right, so let's move and do a bit of a calculation here now. Right, so we know 33 centimeters was our distance. Here it is. Okay, centimeters. Now, how am I going to get, what did I do to get that 1 to 33? I multiplied by 33. So I said 1 times 33 gives me 33. So I'm going to do the exact same thing this side. I am going to say 1,500,000 times 33. And that's what we're going to do here. Okay? So times 33. Why? Because what I did over there, I've got to do to this side. This side, I said 1 times 33. So I've got to do the same this side. 1,500,000 times 33. Why? Because what I do there, I've got to do there. Imagine, and I've used this example before as well, but I always use it because I enjoy it. Imagine if you've got a little brother, okay, and your mom and dad come home and they sit you down and they say, you know what, my boy, we've decided that we are going to give Rodney an additional 1,000 Rand pocket money a month. Oh, and you get all excited now because you know what the brother gets, you're going to get. But your parents say, well, that's all we wanted you to know, and they walk off. Okay? You'd be devastated. You'd feel unloved. Okay? Oh, I'm getting flashbacks from my childhood. But you would feel absolutely unloved. No one loves me. But if they said, look, we're giving your brother more pocket money, so you know what? We're going to do the same to you. Then there's a bit of fairness going on. And that's what we're doing here. We're saying we multiplied that side by 33 to get 33. We're going to multiply this side by 33 to get 33. All right. Now, all we've got to do is find a calculator, which we just do not have. So let's have some fun here, shall we? Let's find a calculator. So we're going to go over there, and I'm going to say calculator, all programs. Calculator, accessories, we just need a basic little calculator.
Or, I mean, you could have also just asked me. I also have a calculator.
You just have a calculator.
I have a calculator on my computer.
Well,
oh no, he's found one. And guys, it's not the fancy one you're used to. So he's found the built-in calculator. So take it away, Peter. You can do it.
Okay, so we've got 1,500,000. We're going to multiply it now by 33. And we're going to land up with this huge number. I don't know if you can see that on the screen. It's so big. So we've actually got 49 million. Whoops, here we go. 49 million. And what did our calculator say? 49,500,000. So 49,500,000. 500,000 what? Centimeters. Okay? This unit centimeters, that unit has also got to be in centimeters. So quite an interesting distance. So I actually traveled last week a very, very far away. I traveled 49,500,000 centimeters. Well, that doesn't kind of make sense, does it? You can't actually visualize it. So I think we should change it to kilometers, and that's what we're going to do. Now, how many centimeters are in a meter? There are 100. Agreed? So let's knock off 100 here, or divide by 100, and we're going to say now, what do we have? We now have 495,000 meters. Okay? I've lost my pen. I found it again. Now, how many meters in a kilometer? There are 1,000. So if I divide by 1,000, I'm going to land up with a distance of 495 kilometers. That's how far Joburg is from Durban. Okay. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're sitting there thinking, no, it's not. The other day I looked up and it said it was about 580, 590, somewhere there. So how come I've only got 495 kilometers? It's quite simple. Remember I told you, I'm not following the roads. We're measuring the direct distance. So if I got in a car, okay, and drove like my mother-in-law from Joburg to Durban and just went over everything in one straight line, I would only be traveling 495 kilometers. Okay. Can we see how useful this map has been? So nobody told me the direct distance between Joburg and Durban, but I was able to calculate it. How? By using my scale. Are we clear on that? Okay. Let's do the same exercise again. But this time, we're going to use that bar scale and see if we get more or less the right answer. Now, I'm taking a huge gamble doing this, because normally when I do it in the classroom, we're kind of out. So here I'm on live TV, and I'm now going to try and prove something. So cross your fingers, and let's hope it works. So, bar scale. We know that we are going to find a bar, and it's going to tell me a certain distance of that bar, right? It's going to tell me that the distance for that length of line represents a certain distance. So let's go over to our map and let's try and figure this one out again. And I'm going to ask Indiana again, if she wouldn't mind. We're going to move all the way off here now. Right, here is my bar scale. Now, the scale, the word scale, 1 is to 1,500,000. We've used it. Now what we're going to do is we told the length of this line over here, okay, from where it's 0 to 100 kilometers. That distance represents 100 kilometers. Well, how long is that distance? Let's measure it, shall we? So we're going to take a ruler. We're going to measure. Let me do it this side, because then the camera will be able to see it a lot easier. So from the distance all the way through there is round about 65 millimeters, or 6.5 centimeters. Okay? It's a little less than that, but we'll work on 6.5. So can you remember that? 6.5?
I will remember it and I will write it down just for you.
So we know that 6.5 centimeters represents 100 kilometers. So let's go back to our screen over here. So I now know that or how much was it? 6.5. Eh?
6.5.
6.5 centimeters represents 100 kilometers. Do you remember? That's what it said on the map. It said this little distance is 100 kilometers. So 6.5 centimeters represents 100 kilometers. So what does 1 centimeter represent? Well, how did I get that 6,5 to being 1? I divided by 6,5. So 1 centimeter represents 100 divided by 6,5. Okay? Are we clear on that? I think it's straightforward. It kind of makes sense. It makes sense to me. Hopefully it makes sense to you. By the way, if you don't know what I'm actually talking about, please feel free to email us or BBM us or whatever.
Facebook us, tweet us, let us know, send us pictures, send us comments, anything really.
Okay, so you can Facebook or Twitter us. let us know the problem, and then maybe I'll be able to answer some of your questions. Okay, so far now, we're using our bar scale. We've said 1 centimeter represents 100 over 6,5. Now, when we measured the distance from Johannesburg to Durban, do you remember we got 33 centimeters? Okay, so then let's check. 33 centimeters. Now, how did I get the 1 to be 33? Multiplied by 33. And what I do on one side, I do to the other side. So let's multiply this now by 33. So I've got 100 over 6,5, and I'm going to multiply it by 33, and let's see what kind of answer we actually get. So I'm going to bring up my calculator again. Let's clear everything, and let's do this. We're going to say 100, oops, no, that's 1,000, so let's just kill that. 100, in fact, let's just move this over into the middle. The producer's shouting in my ear, so let's do as she says. So we've got 100. We're going to divide it now by 6.5, and then we're going to multiply it by 33. Now, folks, we should get an answer. Close on 400 and something kilometers, if you remember correctly. So equals, and there I get an answer of 507 kilometers. Okay, now, what distance did we get when we used the other scale? Let's have a look. 495 kilometers. So we were actually only 12 kilometers out. Now, guys, that's not bad, hey? That really is not bad. Because remember, it was very difficult for me to be 100% accurate with this clumsy ruler and huge big map and all that. The map they give you in an exam will be a nice, tiny, small one. You'll have a wonderful little ruler. You'll be able to measure accurately. And here's the good thing. The examiners actually allow for a little bit of error. They allow for a margin of error. So let's say the distance is 33, but we actually measure 32 or measure 34. You know what? The examiner's going to say, you know what, this guy knows what he's doing, man. Let's allow that little bit of error. We're going to give him full marks. Okay? So on our number scale, we got 495. On our bar scale, we got 507. Geez, guys, that is so close. Okay? Do you remember as well when I was measuring, I said, oh, it looks like it round about 6.5. It might even have been 6,6. It wasn't really 100% accurate, which is silly of me, huh? But that's how we do it. Do you understand? So we've used the same map, but we've used different scales to figure out the answer. Okay? And in your exam, if they give you both scales, you are allowed to use both to try and find out the final answer. Here's something I want to bring to your attention. If I had a map, now hopefully, I know I've got one here somewhere, so let me just find it quickly for you. Yeah, here we go. Is it this one? I think it could be the next one. No, I've got it on the next one. So if I were to give you this map of, right, here we go. Yeah, I've got a map of the central Johannesburg. Now, I know it's not very clear on your screen, but that's fine. Don't panic about it. The two things I want to bring up to your attention are this. First of all, there's a word scale that says this map is 1 is to 12,500. In other words, 1 unit on the map represents 12,500 units in real life. It also gives us a bar scale or a picture of that distance. So there's my bar scale, and it's that length over here. Were I to reduce this map, now I don't know if this is going to allow me to do it. In fact, it's not going to allow me to do it. But were I to reduce this whole map, the words are going to stay the same, aren't they? The numbers will stay the same. It's still going to say scale is 1 is to 12,500. But the actual bar is going to diminish. So as I reduce the picture, so the bar scale also reduces. So guys, in times like that, the best scale to use is your bar scale, because it's also going to reduce as your map reduces, or it's also going to get bigger as your map gets bigger. But the number scale is going to stay the same the whole time. And so when we're reducing maps or photocopying maps, sometimes it's better, in fact it is better to use our bar scale, because the difference in the map is going to be the same as the difference in that bar scale. What we're going to do now is we're going to look at another map, and we're going to measure the distance between 2 points on that map. And we are actually going to see whether this map, or we're going to try and figure out whether on this map we're going to use whether the bar scale and the number scale are correct. Okay? In other words, we're going to try and say, is the map we're going to use now to scale? Let's have a look. So here I am now, and we've got a little picture or little diagram of Rustenburg. Okay? And what we're going to do is I'm going to try and measure the distance of 2 points. And I'm just choosing any 2 random points. I'm going to choose a beacon point over here and a beacon point over there. Now, what is a beacon point? Well, generally, a beacon is like something that you find on top of a little hill. It gives you the height of that hill and things like that. And a lot of people who use these try and measure distances from one beacon to the other. That's what we're going to do now. Okay, so I have a beacon. I have a much more...
Do you want to move it? Yeah. Come, move up.
It's going to look like...
There you go. Oh, you need that.
Okay, so yeah.
You
all
do.
right. So we're going to measure the distance from that beacon to that beacon, and I'm going to do it with my ruler, and hopefully my ruler is 100% correct. And we're going to measure this distance, and I'm measuring it, and I get around about 14,5, 14,8 millimeters. Okay. So 14,8 centimeters. So the distance between one point and the other point is a nice, what did we say? 14,8 centimeters. Right, now let's go to the board and let's play around with it. Before we do that though, while we've got the cameraman here, let's just use him. Let's have a look at our scale. I'm looking for a scale. Can you see a scale on this map?
I'm looking.
Okay, no. I can see a scale here that tells me a number scale is 1:50,000. In other words, 1 centimeter on the map represents 50,000 centimeters in real life. Got it?
Got it, good.
Over here, here now we have a actual number scale, right? And it's actually telling me, bar scale, and it's actually telling me the distance of 1,000 meters, right? We're going to come back and measure that just now, because I think we've got quite a bit here to try and figure out and remember. So we said 14,8 centimeters, and we're using a scale of 1:50,000.
Okay, 1:50,000.
I've lost my other pen.
Don't worry. Is this the one you're looking for?
That's what I'm
there
looking for.
There it is.
Thank you. Right, so our scale was 1:50,000. Cool. We measured a distance of 14,8 centimeters.
See, you don't actually even need me to remember stuff for you.
So, how did I get that 1 to 14,8? I multiplied by 14,8. So I'm going to do the same this side. I'm going to take this 50,000 and multiply it by 14,8 as well. We're going to take our calculator and we're going to say, right, let's do this very sum. I'm moving my calculator down so I can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can still see it. So I've got 50,000. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to multiply it by 14,8. 14.8 equals, and I get an answer here of 740,000. Okay, so 740,000 what? Well, that was in centimeters, so this is also going to be in centimeters. So the distance from the one beacon to the other beacon is 740,000 centimeters. Sure. Okay. What's that in kilometers? Well, to change it to meters, we're going to divide by 100, so we're going to get 7,400 meters. What's that in kilometers? Divide by 1,000, and we get 7,4 kilometers. Right, now folks, here comes the real challenge. Is our scale, is the map to scale? So we're going to go back to the map, and we are now going to look at that bar scale. So let's do that. So here we are again, and now what I'm going to do, I've got a different ruler. I think this one is a little more accurate. This little distance here, okay, from the 0 to the 1 represents 1,000 meters. So I'm going to measure this distance, and I've got it from there all the way there, and you know what it's telling me? That 2 centimeters represents 1,000 meters. Okay? So 2 centimeters on my bar represents 1,000 meters. Let's go back and let's have a look at this. 2 centimeters represents 1,000 meters. Okay. Huge problem, huge problem. What's my huge problem? I'm dealing with centimeters and I'm dealing with meters. I can't do that. Remember, for scale, let's get the same units. So let's do that. So I'm going to say then that 2 centimeters represents, let's change that to centimeters. There are 100 centimeters in a meter. So I've got 100,000 centimeters. Okay. So what's 1 centimeter represent? Well, if 2 represents 100,000, 1 centimeter on the map must represent 50,000 centimeters in real life. Does this make sense? Of course it does. Now, do you remember when we measured that distance on the map? It was 14,8 centimeters.
It was
okay.
Indeed.
All right. So
Well done.
14,8 centimeters. There's nothing like waiting for Indiana. We go on to next week's show. Okay, 1 centimeter, we're changing it to 14,8. How did I get the 1 to 14,8? I multiply by 14,8. We're going to do the same this side. Multiply that by 14,8. So we're going to do that, find my calculator, and I'm going to say, right, let's clear all that. We've got 50,000. And we're going to now multiply it by 14.8. And we land up now with an answer of 740,000. Okay, so 740,000 centimeters. Okay, right. So the distance represents 740,000. Let's change it to meters. Represents 7,400 meters, and change it to kilometers. We divide by 1,000, represents 7,4 kilometers. This is where a teacher starts to celebrate. And if I could, I would do some flips, but I'm not allowed to do that. I've been told I can't do that. So 7,4 kilometers. That's what we got when we measured the distance used our number scale. When we did our bar scale, we got the exact answer. In other words, folks, let's have a look here. This map over here, the number scale and the bar scale, I'm getting the same answer when I measure the distance from one point of the map to the other point. So if I'm getting the same distance, then you know what I can say? This map is in the exact right proportion as it should have been. Because if it wasn't, my answers wouldn't have worked out the same. So I'm actually so relieved that this was the case. In fact, what I will say, I must be so relieved I didn't fall. When I was I nearly tripped over these cables.
I would have caught you. I would have caught you.
Which reminds me, the other day I saw a bit of a...
So chivalrous I am.
The other day I saw a horrible accident. There was a cat that was knocked over. I know, it was a catastrophe. Okay, so the maps are the same. Everything's worked out perfectly. And you know what? I think it's just such a great way to end the show on such a high note.